Hey there guys, and welcome back to Dino Reacts. So I just got done watching American Horror Story 1984 episode 3, and what an episode it was. We are going to jump straight into this episode, guys. We start the episode off with two separate groups, kind of where we left off from the last episode. So in one group we have Brooke, we have Nurse Rita, we have Ray and Chet. In the second group we have the rest of our characters. We have Montana, Xavier and Trevor, both kind of looking for a way to get out of the camp, both looking for keys in separate cabins. Now, as we saw in both cabins, someone is banging on the door, so we're going to start with the latter group of Brooke, Chet, Ray and Nurse Rita. So the Night Stalker, he is banging on the cabin that they're all inside, and what we see very quickly is Ray isn't the guy we thought he would be. For me, I said in episode 1, Ray I thought would be the character who, would save the day in the end. Maybe he'd protect Brooke. He may die, but he'd be that good guy type character. Instead, it's revealed that he's kind of just out for himself. He pretty much says, look, I'm out of here. It's everyone for themselves. Let's see what happens. When the Night Stalker gets in, he gets close to Ray, and Nurse Rita pretty much agrees with him in that movie. She's like, bye, I'm out of here. And Nurse Rita and Brooke escape the cabin. Now Chet does stay behind to help Ray. They both escape, but unfortunately they kind of fall into a pit of spikes and Chet gets impaled in the shoulder. Meanwhile, Nurse Rita and Brooke are out trying to escape. They do get to the car, but before they can leave, Nurse Rita turns around with a needle, sticks it in Brooke and knocks her out. And that's our first big reveal of the episode, and Nurse Rita is not who we thought she was. This season, it does definitely seem like a lot of the characters have a lot of hidden secrets that we don't really know who they truly are, and that's definitely the case with Nurse Rita. So we do get a flashback of her going to see Mr. Jingles while he was in the asylum. Now it's also revealed that her name isn't Nurse Rita, it's actually, I think, Donna Chambers. I think that's the name that she has, and she's a psychologist investigating serial killers. So her whole thing is she doesn't want serial killers to be around anymore. This is based in the 80s. During the 70s and the 80s there was a huge rise in serial killers, so that kind of makes sense. Now she does tell him that she has this big master plan where she wants him to escape. She knows the camp is being reopened and she wants him to go kill a bunch of people, essentially so she can study him out in the wild. She tells him that Margaret is the one opening up the camp, and he does get quite angry, so there's definitely something behind that story that we haven't seen yet. Now it also gets revealed that the original Nurse Rita, the actual nurse who was meant to be going to the camp, gets stopped on the way by the fake Nurse Rita. Now they do kind of have a back and forth conversation, and in a scene very reminiscent of urban legend, Donna Chambers is in the back seat and kidnaps the nurse. I will say I wasn't hugely surprised by the reveal, because in the last episode Jingles did see Rita. Nothing really happened there, so I was wondering what was going on. Wasn't a huge reveal, but just the backstory behind it was very American Horror Story. I love that about it. Donna Chambers, or I'm probably just going to call her Nurse Rita going forward, but her whole character has become so much more interesting. She seemed like a small character at the start, so I'm really excited to see where that goes. At the end of the day, she's kind of the Dr. Sartain now of American Horror Story. She's batshit crazy, and I cannot wait to see what happens next with her. Back at the other group, they, as I said, are also being attacked by somebody outside their cabin. Now, this does actually get revealed just to be 3 pranksters dressing up as Mr. Jingles to kind of honor the killer. For me, this was very American Horror Story. I like when American Horror Story throws these kind of things in. They did this in Asylum with the kind of fake bloody face killers. Even in Murder House, they had all these random killers popping up throughout the season. So I like that. It reminded me of the older seasons. But of course the real Mr. Jingles does pop up. He does kill 2 of those pranksters and attacks our 3 remaining survivors. I did also like that Mr. Jingles, at one point, he does meet the 3rd prankster. Now he meets him, and I don't know, did he just feel sorry for the guy, but he lets him go, which kind of tells you that Mr. Jingles may not be as evil as we're led to believe. I do think Margaret is the one who did the killings, but we'll see what happens. But I just think that was a nice little scene. It was a funny scene as well, just to throw in there. Our group, they do get away though, and they do actually bump into the real Nurse Rita. So she's been kidnapped by Donna Chambers. They release her, and of course she starts screaming. She runs out of the place and bumps into Mr. Jingles, who very quickly impales her. It's a great scene. It's a great kill. I absolutely loved it. And again, it makes you question, is Mr. Jingles completely innocent, or is he this mad serial killer? Back with Ray and Chet, they are still down in that pit. Chet is pretty much impaled in the shoulder with one of these spikes, and after a while he passes out. Now Ray uses this opportunity kind of to confess that he actually killed someone back in college. So in a flashback scene, we see Ray is pretty much kind of the leader of a sorority. You know, they're having an initiation in their sorority, and one of the guys there gets a bit too drunk and ends up passing out and falling down the stairs. Now Ray, you know, checks the body. He's like, oh, he's dead. So he grabs him, throws him into a car, and his idea of covering the whole thing up is pushing the car over a cliff and letting it blow up. Unfortunately for him, the guy inside the car wakes up right as it's going off the cliff, and Ray realizes he's just murdered somebody in cold blood. But again, it was just a cool way just to show more of Ray's character, and just like Nurse Rita, he's become so much more interesting within one episode. Unfortunately, Chet does hear his whole confession, and he does at one point say it's not the first person you've killed, which I thought was interesting. Ray gets out of the pit and pretty much leaves Chet screaming down there, and he does bump into the other group. So he bumps into Montana, Xavier and Trevor. So he lets them know, you know, he lost the others. He doesn't tell them that Chet is down in a pit screaming, almost dying. He just says he loses them. Now, there's a second there where they don't really believe them. You can kind of see they're questioning it, but both of them do split up. So Montana goes with Ray to get to the bike, and the other two go looking for Chet. They do find him eventually, and they're trying to get them out when they hear Mr. Jingles coming. Trevor, you know, trying to be the hero of the story, ends up pushing Mr. Jingles down into the pit once they get Chet out. Unfortunately, it ends up being the third prankster, and he gets killed off. After that, the real Mr. Jingles does come, and the three of them get the hell out of there. The episode ends with Ray and Montana getting to the bike, but they're confronted by the Night Stalker. Now Ray, being the guy we've seen this whole episode, the kind of coward type character that he is, he jumps on the bike and pretty much gets the hell out of there. Montana, she does want to stay and help people, so I get in a sense what he was doing. He was just getting the hell out of there, which, you know, fair enough. But as he's driving away, Mr. Jingles comes out of nowhere and decapitates him. Absolutely great kill. It came out of nowhere. I did not expect Ray to die that quick, but the kill was a payoff. Now the episode ends with one more twist. This season has been nothing but twists, and we're only in episode 3. The Night Stalker, he does approach Montana. We think he's going to kill her, but they end up making out. She slaps him across the face, then gives him a kiss, and it's revealed that they're working together to kill Brooke. What that means, I do not know. For me, you know, when I thought about it, I'm guessing it has something to do with the wedding. Maybe the groom was her brother, or the guy that she was meant to have slept with could have been her brother also. Maybe someone there, you know, was her husband. We don't know. We will see next week. Guys, I cannot wait to jump into that episode. I cannot wait to see all of this season and just how things pan out. It's moving extremely fast paced. The twists are coming out of nowhere, and I'm absolutely loving it. This season for me, guys, it reminds me of the older seasons, you know, Murder House, Asylum, Coven, Freak Show. It reminds me of those seasons, and I'm delighted we're back there. Next week, guys, I am going to look at the 4th episode of American Horror Story. So till then, Heidi ho.